a kernel stuck in my teeth.
Cool. Just remember, if it stays there for a long time and you spit out blood, it's the Colonel's fault.
Okay. I mean,
it's Colonel Mustang's.
I was literally gonna be like, the plot of Fullmetal Alchemist. It's the Colonel's fault.
It's not.
No, he's fine.
Is he?
Depends.
He is a war criminal. So he made a body to live forever. And now wants to grow old because he has a family. Because who wants to live forever?
Who wants to live forever?
But touch my tears with your lips. Touch my lips. That's such a good song.
It is a good song.
But he does care. He just doesn't know how to show it because I'm assuming trauma.
Yeah, it's fair to say. Alright, it's gonna be so hard for me to not, like, reveal things from, Hohenheim's backstory. And welcome back to another episode of First Reaction Fan Reaction. I am your host, Caitlin Clother. With me is my co-host,
Dara Whitman.
Hey, how's it going, Dara?
I'm fine.
Are you fine?
Yeah, nothing. I mean, nothing happened really.
Nothing happened. Okay, well, awesome. Because today we are still talking about Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood with episodes 36, Family Portrait, episode 37, The First Homunculus. We're just going to go ahead and get started with the synopsis. I'm not even going to ask.
Do we want to do social media?
Oh my god, I forgot to do that last time, too. It's always the first one I forget to do it. So before we get started talking about those episodes, because boy, that was a doozy.
Was it?
You can follow us on a variety of social media. We would really appreciate that. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that good stuff. We are at Witty Close on there. If you're watching this on YouTube, we'd really appreciate a like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, we do read those comments on the show, and we will read them at the end of this episode. Well, this audio episode, not this episode, but anyway. So now you still have time. Get your comments in now.
Yeah.
All right, but we're going to go ahead and get started talking about this episode. That is Family Portrait.
It's funny. It's called Family Portrait, but really only like the first few minutes are about the family.
Yeah. So we're actually starting. This is a cold open, so no opening credits, and we are going to follow Hohenheim. You know Hohenheim? Papa. Yes. So we see Papa at an unspecified location.
Hello?
Oh, I know. Oh my god, it's Papa.
Papa?
Reinmeyer, Gianni, Ripley,
Hello?
MacDild, Mayo.
Don't worry about it.
Forgive me, but I have to use you.
Oh.
And then
Yeah. There. You know what I would say? Like father, like son.
Has Ed ever gone?
I don't think he's ever done like this, but he's been like, he's dramatically taken his shirt off before.
That's true.
Sure.
But it like plunges his fingers into his chest.
Yeah. And just and then takes out something that we don't get to see, but some blood splatters. It's a good time.
Then it's and then they go, whoosh, boom.
And they sink into the ground. So, interesting. I wonder what that could mean.
Flashback?
I mean, I know what that means. And then from there, we're actually going to flash back and go to 13 years ago, according to the wiki. So shout out wiki writers. We really appreciate you because you are always keeping me on the straight and narrow. So we're going to go back to Risenbull, 13 years ago. So that's when Ed and Al are really young.
Al's like a baby.
Yeah, Al's like a baby.
And Ed is innocent and loves his father.
Yeah, he's a toddler. Yeah, this is before Ed has learned what daddy issues are. 13 years ago is what that says. I know Japanese.
You can hug them, you know. They are your sons.
I don't want the monster to spread.
Please. If it could spread that way, don't you think I would have caught it a long time ago?
Because we banged multiple times.
Since
Twice
I
at
got
least.
this body, I've seen a lot of death. But I always tried to think about it as part of the flow of the larger world. But then, I met you, and together we created 2 sons.
That you did.
Now it's different. I don't get any older. But my
Why doesn't
sons
Al have
age
pillow?
and grow before my eyes.
Maybe
And
it's that one.
suddenly I'm terrified. I'm realizing that I really am a monster.
Who is the monster? Who is the man?
The bells of Notre. So Hohenheim is watching kind of his children sleep. And you can tell that he is having a lot of emotions about whatever is going on here. And we don't really know exactly what he's thinking in that moment, but Trisha kind of comes up and they have a discussion about that. So Trisha basically says, she's like, literally, they're your children. You can, like, it's okay. They're not, like, you can, like, stop keeping your distance, because it's very obvious that Hohenheim is keeping distance from his children, not because he does not care about them.
Because of something.
Because of something. So he is repeatedly referring to himself, like, as a monster. He doesn't want, like, whatever is in him to, you know, hurt them in any way. So he makes a lot of references to a monster, to his own body, and something that he has accepted and decided to live with that we really don't know what.
But we do kind of establish that Trisha definitely knows a fair amount.
Yeah, so Trisha is his confidant, so he's able to talk about things, and she knows.
They're really cute.
They are like a really
They're
cute
so
couple.
cute.
It's, yeah. Never mind the insane age difference, but it is very
and considering what we don't know about Hohenheim, but probably assuming about Hohenheim, it's a massive age difference.
Yes, it is. And yeah, like a lot. I mean, we were able to kind of read between the lines about certain things, and we kind of know that Hohenheim has been through something that has made him unable to age. And because a lot of the themes from this episode regarding, like, watching his children grow up, and Trisha kind of talks about this
Our
as well.
Highlander.
Yeah, basically Highlander.
Who wants to live forever?
Who wants to live forever? So Hohenheim is a very distant father, but that is because I think it comes from a place of, like, wanting to protect, but it really just comes off to everyone else as being a shit father.
But that kind of, like, was to me, I'm kind of like, something's up. I was always saying something is up with him. But even at that point, so, like, when he was, like, with Ed in, like, that graveyard and saying, like, all this bad stuff, was that, like, another way to keep his distance by just, like, beating him down?
I think at that point he just doesn't know how to interact with people.
I think it's like, even like Pinocchio, he was like, but like with Pinocchio he kind of could, but I think it's because like they've been friends for so long.
Yeah.
But I don't even think she knows everything.
Yeah, no, I don't think Pinocchio really knows, like, the deal of what the real deal with Hohenheim is. But no, I think there is an element to Hohenheim of just being kind of like an awkward dude for a myriad of reasons. I'm sure some we will explore in the future, but not quite at this moment.
I kind of think it was a mix of, like, if I am negative towards him, towards my son, then who will be more distant.
Yes.
That'll keep the distance, and, like, I can protect him more from that.
Yeah.
And then also, because kind of being, like, although technically, like, when you, like, show me, like, manga stuff, it was, like, very much, like, he was kind of more, like, sarcastic.
Yeah, I think there's a difference, because I think Hohenheim's, like, proper timeline, like, you know, present time reveal in this show, he's, like, very serious and, like, very, like, and it comes off more in the manga. It's, like, kind of funny. Like, there's definitely some humor in it, and we talk about a little bit about the differences between that during in that episode, so you can go back and watch that. But it is complicated. So there's several different ways to read Hohenheim, and that's very intentional. So we're not saying just because he's like, oh, he said here he's a good father. It's like, doesn't mean he made all the right decisions, but he is trying more than what is perceived by his children, specifically Ed, who does not like him.
I think he's somebody who, like Marco, has done some bad, terrible things and was not a good person, and then has decided to atone for his sins.
Yeah.
And then met Trisha and found somebody who can, like, confide all of this stuff into, and she can be, like, the thing of just, like, you're working on yourself, and that's really what is important.
Yeah. And so kind of the next day, we get this really cute scene that it gives the episode its title.
What is it? Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Oh, family portrait.
Photographer.
Yes, let's fix you up.
Does he have any other clothes?
No, we don't have a single family picture.
That's pretty
He's a simple
short
man.
notice.
Oh, look at the baby.
Here, you hold Ed, all right?
What is this thing?
Ew.
Okay, we're ready.
Oh,
Hello, child.
What a man.
This isn't good.
The only time he ever liked his father.
And hold.
Is that someday I'm going to be a wrinkled old monster myself. So today,
Well, you're not,
I'm
because...
going to take this picture, and I'll be able to remember us all together, smiling. No matter what, we're always a family. Stop calling yourself a monster. It's not true.
Say cheese,
She was such a good one.
She's a good one. Only
He's
good
taking
now.
it. Smile, dear.
No, that's the picture that I think it was on a corkboard. It was behind something so you couldn't see his face. It's because he was crying. And Trisha arranges for a photographer to come in, and she's able to take a family picture. She kind of is talking about that, hey, that she herself will become old and wrinkly one day. I got some good news and bad news, Trisha. I got some good news and bad news.
Well,
good news is you won't get wrinkly. Bad news is you're not going to get old either.
You're just gonna die.
You're just gonna die.
I mean, your sons are gonna try to bring you back to life.
And it's not gonna work.
It's not gonna go
Not
well.
gonna work. And so, but Trisha kind of talks about that she wants to preserve this moment for all of them, where they're all in this state, and then something that they can then look back on. And she also kind of chides Hohenheim to be like, stop trying to keep your distance from them. Stop calling yourself a monster. You are not a monster. And you know. She wants them all to kind of be a family.
But like it also kind of goes on that like he's like interested in humanity. He wants to like be human, but doesn't fully understand it. And I also just love like when like she gives him Ed, he's just like,
yeah. So I mean, because it seems like Trisha's doing all of the lifting, not the heavy lifting, but all the lifting when it comes to parenthood and parenting. She seems to be okay with it, but like, honey, you got to expect more out of your man.
She's kind of got 3 kids.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And like 2 that are actual kids who are like innocent and adorable, and then one who is like horrifically emotionally damaged.
Yes, yeah. And also probably hasn't probably lived like a normal person for at least a long time.
But we established that like they're definitely his kids, because I love the time it's like, well, like if your monster was gonna come out, you haven't broken me yet, which like
right, or she was
like so they banged.
We do it. Often, or at least enough to make 2 children. So Hohenheim is very kind of touched by the things that she's saying because
she's a good person.
She's a good person, and it really kind of hits him deep in the soul. And then he starts crying.
Well, kind of like how Ed, like he's like looking at Ed, and then it's kind of like.
Yeah, it's so cute because she hands over Ed to him, and he's just kind of like, oh God, what do I do with this child? Even though that's your child. That is yours. You
look exactly alike.
Yeah, like literally. And so he's just like, oh, okay, I don't really know what I'm doing here. But Ed's just like cool with it. And the children are the most innocent at that point. And so they're just like happy to be, you know, with the fam. And so Hohenheim kind of starts crying at really just
that's like we see the full picture.
Yeah, so we actually have seen this picture before in the show, but any other time we've seen it, it has been obscured, where we don't see Hohenheim's face. And part of that is, I think, narratively, because we saw the picture before Hohenheim was properly revealed in the story, and another part was because it's a very important part of his character to see the picture, because we understand him up until this point to be pretty cold, and very distant as a person, and we don't really see him feeling or like having outright affection for his children. I mean, we did see in the episode where he meets Ed, he kind of sets things up for him to have that piece where he's kind of the one who sets the stage, or kind of sets up the blocks so that Ed is then compelled to go dig up what they created when they did the human transmutation, so they can have that closure of knowing that they didn't bring back their mother. And so Hohenheim, I think that was his way of caring in a way, but we haven't actually seen him like be outwardly emotional or affectionate towards them. Yeah. And so this is kind of the moment where we get to understand a huge portion of Hohenheim's character, which is that like he does care. He's just not good at showing it.
Well, it kind of feels like whatever he was before, like this form or whatever it was, like it wasn't like emotion based, so like. And, like, here's the thing. Human emotions are complex.
Yeah, complicated.
And weird. And messy. So, like, when we see, like, the whole face of me just, like, crying. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, it's just, like...
It hurts.
And I also think, like, it's a thing of just, like, he doesn't think he deserves this.
Yes.
He doesn't think he deserves Trisha, which, like, I don't...
No one does.
No one... Ed and Al deserve for her to be their mother.
Yes, yeah.
But, besides that, so, like... So, like, it's just, like, he doesn't think he deserves life because of, like, what he did, even though, like, it feels like he is working on, like, trying to be, recognizing his sins and atoning for them.
Yeah. And even the next scene after this is really him, I think, properly saying out loud that I think he does want to return to being full human. Whatever he is now is clearly not normal human. And so he does have a desire to, like... do away with whatever is going on with him, go back to full regular human who can age properly, and then just like have a simple life with his wife and children, although they're not actually legally married. So
How come they never got legally married?
they never got. I don't think they ever say. But the reason why the brothers are Elrics and not Hohenheims is one of the reasons is because they were never legally married. So.
Yeah, and I know you said that. I originally thought they did Elric because of like, if they went by Hohenheim, somebody would recognize it.
I think it's less of that and more.
Is it more just like a protection thing?
I don't know. I think I'm not sure. They just,
Oh no, I meant a more protection. The protection thing was more for the name thing, for the kids.
Yeah.
The marriage thing, I guess like if they did get married, that would be a legal document and then somebody could find that.
That's true. I'm not sure if it goes that deep, or if they just were too horny to get married before they had kids. No, I don't know. Maybe they just don't believe in the institution of marriage. Who knows? It's not.
I mean,
it's not a big deal.
how long were they horny for before they had cool? She was like, what did it say, like 21, 22 when Ed was born?
She was so young when they met.
She was 26 when she died.
It was a little uncomfortable how young Trisha is. But we still love her.
No, we say that, like, it's funny because like we're like it's so uncomfortable like how young she was compared to like Hohenheim and like that whole thing and just like that. But like they're really cute.
They're really cute together though. No. We do approve. It's just we're just not going to think about that other stuff anyway. So. But even then, I mean, I think with age gaps, a lot of the things that I'm always like are power dynamics, and it's very clear that I think Trisha holds most of the power in this relationship because she is the one with the humanity, and he's the one just figuring it out. So, not saying that women are here to fix men because they're not. Grow up by yourself, but in this relationship, it just happens to be very cute.
I was kind of, I mean, like when like the party thing in the flashback, so I kind of was getting the feeling that like he was already working on fixing himself, and then he met Trisha.
Yeah. Right.
And then he to that was like, okay, like, because like he was fixing stuff, but he couldn't really tell anybody who he was. And then with Trisha, it kind of felt like I can like just like give all this to you.
Yeah.
And like actually have somebody who's like sweet and like understanding.
Yeah.
And that you really don't deserve, if we're being honest.
Yeah. That's very sweet. Like this whole flashback is like the whole thing's actually like really cute because their dynamic is very sweet, and you want to root for them, and you're like, oh, they're.
I hope that they grow old together.
I hope that they grow old together.
Their kids love them. It's nice and happy. I hope nothing bad happens. Does something bad happen?
I hope. I mean, like, don't worry about it.
To extend my life, but things are different now.
Because who wants to live forever?
I want to be with Trisha and the boys.
Aww.
To grow old and die with them.
Aww.
There, that ought to do it.
Aww. And then he died?
And they died.
What were you doing?
Oh, fixing the swing.
Aww.
Trisha, I'm going away. Wait here for me.
Be a good father.
Okay.
I see she knows stuff.
She knows things.
She knows
Don't tell me,
stuff.
She knows stuff.
I don't want them to.
But so Hohenheim is working really hard because he wants to just be able to find a way to live the life he really wants to live, which is just grow old with his wife and children. And then so there's a very cute scene where he is building a swing for the kids, or putting up a swing on the tree. And it's supposed to be a very like simplistic show, especially I think for whatever Hohenheim is, which I think is there's a level of not grandeur to it, but something that expands beyond the realms of like normal humans to be able to then go and just be like, I'm just going to climb a tree and put up a swing. I think there's something like
Was
very
he putting it up? I thought he was
innocent
just
about it.
fixing it.
No, I think he was putting it up.
Okay.
And so,
And then he falls.
and then he falls, which is very funny. And then he dies. The end. No,
was something before that, like he was reading something, and then he's just like, that bastard.
Yeah, we actually get to see him, and he's kind of in the process of. It seems like he's also putting together the transmutation circle, because we get to see kind of in the like, or at least a portion of that countrywide transmutation circle, and so it seems like he also has an idea of something that's going on. And so then after Trisha kind of comes out after she falls off a tree, which is very funny, he has to talk, and he says like, I gotta go. I'm leaving. And Trisha doesn't seem to like be resistant to this. I think she seems to want to be like,
which is
what
like,
you gotta do.
I mean, that's kind of the thing of just like she knows probably
Yes.
everything.
So she probably understands what this means, and therefore whatever Hohenheim is doing, we don't want to assume necessarily anything, but it seems like it'd be the thing where if Trisha understands and we trust Trisha, then we trust whatever he is doing.
But was he like kind of like because like they packed the suitcase? Was he saying like I'm only gonna be gone for like I don't know how long I'm gonna be gone for, but I'm gonna come back?
Yeah,
and then just like everything happened.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's implied. Well, it's also too because I think
because I kind of give the vibe of like I'm never coming back.
No, and I think too. I mean, they do have that promise and they do have that message that Trisha asks to deliver to Hohenheim. Which is that like, hey, sorry, I couldn't keep our promise. So I think there is a part of her that like, you know, was trying to hold out to then kind of fulfill her end of the bargain.
Yeah.
So we could assume. I don't think that it was. I don't know if she knows how long he was going to be gone for, or how long he intended to be gone for.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, yeah, because I think like whatever he's like looking for, like it kind of felt like if like you actually could read like Lord of the Rings, like that was like it was actually like years in between like the birthday party and then like Frodo going on his journey. So it kind of felt like a thing of just like he could be gone for like a long time and just like didn't want to like obviously like leave a paper trail so you couldn't write to them.
Yeah.
And then when he found out that Trisha died, I think it felt like he was grieving too much or like was ashamed of like all like leaving, so then he just didn't go back.
Yeah.
Which like wasn't the right choice.
No, not yet. Hohenheim, even though you're trying your best, it doesn't mean you're a good father. So,
but I do kind of like how we see like his like leaving departure from his perspective and not Ed's, because Ed is like very like menacing and like kind of like evil in like his eyes.
Yeah.
But like from Hohenheim's perspective, it's really sad.
Yeah. Oh, the whole thing is depressing. Hohenheim is a great character. It doesn't mean he's a good person, but he's a great character.
I just don't think he knows how to be a person, really.
That's a very fair read. And so
I mean, for a while, probably his person was just drinking and fucking.
Yeah, who knows?
Did he fuck Pinocchio?
I don't know. I'm not sure if he was. I'm not sure he really gave a shit about that. Who knows? I don't know how.
Well, I mean, we know he fucked a couple times.
Yeah, at least twice.
At least
Hohenheim has done it at least 2 times.
Good for him.
Good for him. Anyway.
Sure you don't want me to wake them?
I can't bear to look at their faces.
Aww.
Silly man. It's okay for you to cry.
He knows. He already did cry.
Al said he had to go potty.
And of course his big brother took care of him. Thanks a lot, little man.
I'm gonna go get some milk.
Oh no.
Oh, don't cry.
They're his boys.
They are his boys because they have his eyes. And his hair.
Aw.
Oh, I'm upset.
Yep. And that's what Ed remembers. And now he's traumatized and has daddy issues. Great job,
Yeah, but you
Hohenheim.
can't really explain to a child whatever is going on with you. What is going on with you, buddy?
Hey, what's going on with him?
Don't burn the picture.
No, he's not.
Okay, good.
Get it away from the fire, though. Like, put it over
Just a
here.
little while longer.
And so then he goes to leave, and he's kind of having this conversation with Trisha, and she's like, "Oh, should I wake the boys?" And Hohenheim's like, basically says, "I can't look at them," meaning that he is very emotional about this decision, because I think his end goal is to be able to spend it with his children, and having to leave them, I think, is a very large weight on him, even though he doesn't show it. And so he's actually very emotional about the idea. So he doesn't even want to he just kind of wants to rip the Band-Aid off and not have to have like a teary goodbye with his children.
I was thinking like it's like a butterfly effect of like if he didn't leave and just like figured out what's happening, but just like said like I'm just gonna like live the simple life with my family, then like no, he probably could have lived. I mean, I'm assuming Trisha probably would have died young because like Trisha died sickness, but then like. And like he were like probably maybe she would have had to like teach him how to like be like an emotional person just for the kids.
Yeah.
And like be there for them. And then if they wanted to do like bring their mother back, he had explained to them like why that's actually a terrible idea. Don't do that. And like we probably wouldn't have the show.
Well, exactly, we wouldn't have the show. Like everything has a consequence to it, and things are set up in a very way where you're like, oh, that's where we are. So
we know so we never saw Trisha like before she died. Did we not know that? Like, did he not like sneak back?
No, I'm pretty sure it's pretty agreed upon that he was gone the entire time.
That's like the last time they saw each other.
Yeah, it sucks actually. Yeah, it sucks actually. And so as he's ready to leave, we've seen this scene before just from Ed's perspective, and so Ed and Al wake up because Al has to pee, and they see him and they actually kind of see as Hohenheim is leaving. So Hohenheim looks back, and we get to see this from Hohenheim's perspective, is that he knows that he is likely going to lose it if he sees the kids, because this is very emotional for him.
Which definitely sounds like he feels, I don't know if it's like love, I don't know if like if he understands like love, but he feels like, it's like, okay, I do feel like an attachment to these children.
Yeah. And so, but you can kind of see the moment where he's like grappling with it, and then he kind of pushes it down. And we don't really know the look that comes across his face, whether it's out of obligation or whether it's just trying to suppress your own emotions. But it's a very cold look that ends up coming out from him after he kind of shoves that down. And that's what he looks at Ed with. And so Ed's memory is then when Hohenheim leaves, he doesn't look like he's happy, and he doesn't look like it's a hard decision for him. And this will fuel Ed's daddy issues for the rest of his life.
Can't we just talk?
No. We're men. We don't do that. And
is Hohenheim a man?
Or is he a Muppet? Or if he's a Muppet, then he's a very manly Muppet.
Is he a monster? Who is the monster?
Who is the monster and who is the man?
Is there a monster in the next episode?
There sure is, so we should get through this one. Oh my god. But we just got to the opening credits. Good lord.
Well, the title is basically that whole, like, cold open.
Yeah, so this is like a really important reveal for us better understanding Hohenheim's character. And we basically closed back in the present, and Hohenheim's just kind of, like, admiring the photograph, and he says it's just going to be a little bit longer. So, opening credits, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to be back at Briggs.
What's that flower mean?
I think it's just a symbol.
Oh, member?
We got remember?
Horsies.
Well, it's no good. There's still nothing coming through.
Smith, go back and report. Sir!
What is it?
This is fine.
I don't think it is.
There's definitely nothing scary.
Fan out!
And then they died? Hello? Wait a minute.
Oh, terrifying.
I didn't even get to see her bazoombas.
There's kind of a noise, a really like horror movie-esque kind of thing, because they look into like the darkness that's going through the rest of the tunnel. And then we see a weird kind of shadowy thingy come out and
then they die.
Create carnage, basically. Like it's like ripping through like
But it's
everything.
interesting because like the slicing thing looks a lot like Lust.
It does. And so
But we're like Lust is dead.
Yeah, and I've been pretty open about that. I didn't think that was a spoiler for me to be like, it's not Lust.
I was like kind of, but because I'm thinking like, because like usually like with a lot of these, with all the homunculi, like they have like one special thing that's just for them.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like.
So I mean, we don't know with this power specifically. I think the reason why I was pretty confident being like it's not Lust is because the main thing is the movement through shadow, and we get to actually see like eyes and like a mouth kind of like moving and stretching along
everywhere.
with I'm gonna get to that moving and stretching kind of through the shadows themselves. And I think probably because we don't know if like the shadow slice is like as impenetrable as like the ultimate spear, and we don't know what the limitations are. We can only assume that Lust's ultimate spear is a lot more like sturdier than that.
Yeah.
And so, but it comes in. It doesn't just move through the shadows, but it's able to take a physical form as well and slice and dice, baby.
I have too many questions, but it can't be this episode.
Yeah, no. We'll talk to it. We'll put a pin in that. And so, meanwhile, we're gonna go back to that conversation that General Raven and Armstrong were having.
Never dying or getting old. You want it too.
Oh God, get wrecked, you.
What I want is to kill you.
That's fair.
She's so valid for that.
It is intriguing. Can you tell me, General, on the day when this dream comes true, will my men share in this gift as well? Or is it only for me?
I can tell you when the time comes.
Does that mean there are no guarantees until then? If I buy into this, and if I refuse, I'll just be swapped out for some other pawn.
Yep.
Probably demoted. So, do I accept his offer or not?
Saved by the bell.
Excuse me.
we kind of...
General Raven is getting very handsy.
General Raven can go fuck himself, honestly.
Do not put your hands on Kaylin's lady.
So no, I think it's so interesting how because I responded so viscerally to Raven's not doing anything overt, but he's being a little like grabbing your hand or putting a hand and kind of squeezing your shoulder, and it's such this little
it feels like a thing of just somebody who's really sad, you're trying to comfort them.
Yeah. But there's something about not even the power dynamic of it all, but just the I don't know. It's the man and the intention on the woman feels has a very specific 6 layers deep of meaning underneath
it. I'm just gonna use you to put a baby.
Yeah, and not necessarily I don't think that's exactly what Raven's going for, but there's one a weird power thing, and it's almost he is aware of the position of power that he has over her, and two, just the comfort and trust that he's putting in her, because I think of inherently viewing her as lower, but it also being ooh, I can bring you into my club. So I think
that's
a lot
an age gap you don't like.
No, for several reasons, but it's very clear. I think a lot of it's about power dynamics,
right?
And
but
also just misogyny.
I mean, the good news is at least Armstrong is in control technically.
Yeah. It's so funny because you can see her internal monologue is I'm gonna fucking cut this guy.
And we're just snap his neck, snap his neck.
That'd be great.
I'm fine with what happens to him.
Yes,
but.
So, but she's she's grinning and bearing it because she wants more information from him.
Yeah.
And Raven, who I think is probably a little drunk on power and drunk on being a dude in this situation, is really just handed it over to her, understanding what this kind of Legion of Immortal Soldiers means. And he's talking about this thing called the Promise Day, and. And she's well, does this apply to my men or is it just to me? And he's we'll see on the Promise Day. And so she's understanding that this idea, this promise that he has, nothing is guaranteed here. So anything that he says, he doesn't actually know for certain. There's it's more of this theory and ideal for him, but we can't actually know of that they have a surefire way to guarantee this. And so and she understands too that in this moment that either she can agree with this and put a lot of things at risk, or she says no and she's going to be swapped out for someone else.
Right.
Naturally.
So it's
but before she can give a formal answer, she is saved by the bell.
Hooray! Or the door.
Saved by the door knock, specifically.
With the underground tunnel advance team.
What's this about an underground tunnel?
What?
Speak, soldier.
Yes, sir.
I'm coming too.
Right. Let's move.
Hold on a sec. It has to look convincing.
Because someone is there to let them know. It's hey, you know the people that were in that secret tunnel?
Secret tunnel!
They're gone. We haven't heard anything from them, and that's probably bad. And then Raven's secret tunnel?
Secret tunnel!
Tell me more.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Tell me more. And then, of course, the Buccaneer Fallmen and the Elrics who are listening in are that's our cue. And they are able to leave, but they do so with a degree of dramatics, because Ed gets together some rope so it looks like they are prisoners, because they're trying to... Again, there's a narrative that they're trying to sell to the Central guys, which is that Ed and Al came up to do some research. Armstrong did not trust them and then put them kind of on arrest, and they are not in cahoots and neither of them trust each other. And so they're trying to sell that, not that they are working together, but in fact there's some tension there.
Hey, buddy!
Buccaneer, what are you doing?
Prisoner transfer, sir.
This is Mr. Zolf J. Kimbley. He's General Raven's honored guest.
Kimbley, the Crimson Alchemist.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait, did you say the Elric brothers?
Oh my god.
You mean the Fullmetal Alchemist?
Oh my
Have
god!
they
I
actually never met
see.
before?
Now I understand your nickname.
Aw.
It's this one? If one more person makes that mistake! Nice to meet you. Hello.
I'm tied up and definitely a prisoner here.
Along the way, we actually get... It's very interesting because of how many different spinning plates and moving wheels that we have here that Kimberly and the Elrics have actually never met.
Well, he's been in jail till like now.
Yeah, he's been in jail till now. Kimberly's more involved with like the military proper, and Ed's really on the fringes of the military. Just he's in there by mostly name only, and that actually gets discussed a little bit more in the next episode. Ed knows of Kimberly from what Hawkeye told him, but he doesn't actually know anything about him proper. So this is the first time that they are meeting, and it's not great feels all around, honestly.
Well, I mean, the good news is at least like Kimberly doesn't do anything else bad to hurt the Elric brothers in this episode, right?
Not this episode. So, oh no, this is this episode, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Oh shit. Yeah, I cannot keep track of this. Good lord. So let's see. We also get to the return of like an old joke, which is like somebody mistaking Al for the Fullmetal Alchemist and not Ed, which is like feels like ancient material at this point. But it's very funny how the joke comes back, and it feels like it really draws attention upon that these characters have not met each other yet.
It's no short joke.
No short joke, but Ed does threaten that he's probably going to do harm to whoever brings that up again.
He came back with what we assume was his arm.
Damn.
Just his arm. Where's the rest?
It's still missing, sir. And
But
his
like,
horse can't
so
give
if
us
whatever
what-
killed them
It's too
was
terrified to
what
leave it in use.
Henschel,
I'm thinking
get a
if it's
rescue
like
party.
the
I'm
one
afraid you
homunculus
can't
we
do
haven't
that,
met yet,
General
but why does
Armstrong.
it have the same power as Lust?
That tunnel is too
Um,
dangerous.
That's not necessarily.
What have you done with the immortal monster you were telling me about earlier?
I think I'll get to explain that later.
Okay.
See, I know Northern law. Obey strength and obey the power. Isn't that the way it works?
Full Metal
Yeah.
Alchemist.
Remember when he was nice?
Full Metal Alchemist.
And then, so in the reconnaissance mission to figure out what happened to the first team that went down there, all they are able to recover, I think, is a horse and an arm of a guy named Smith, which, like, that's bad.
And the horse is very traumatized.
Yeah, the horse is traumatized.
He got eaten up by the summerween monster. Something like that.
So,
I've been traumatized.
I'm traumatized. Yes. So they gotta figure out what happened to these guys, and of course, you know, as far as the men of Briggs, they are all very loyal to each other, and they all look out for each other. So their first thought is, "Yo, we gotta go back down there, figure out what the hell's happening."
Yeah.
We gotta, like, what's going on here? And so they're about to do that, but before they can do that, Raven comes in, and he kind of asserts his authority, and he's like, actually, no, we're not gonna do that. So Raven also then says, it does the thing that people from Central do, which is ruin everything.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, remember that weird thing that you found that came out from the tunnel?
We need to put him back.
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. So help me. And so he orders to put Sloth back where he came from, and they're going to seal up that hole. And of course, no one likes that idea. Everyone is like, that thing tried to attack us. What do you mean you just want to put it back where it came from? And there's obviously a giant tunnel down here that we didn't know about before. So why the hell would we do that shit?
And I'm sure kind of like, and people are like, and she's like going along with it. And then some people are like, but General, and we're just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And so, right, well, I think Armstrong kind of pushes back at first, and then kind of Raven kind of holds the power over her, and she's like, then she realizes kind of the situation that she's in, and then has to tell her men to stand down as well, because everyone thinks this is bullshit, but they can't really do much about that.
True.
I am General Raven from Central.
Hello.
Hi.
I've heard a great deal about you from His Excellency.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
It appears you've been good boys and kept your mouths shut.
That was the agreement.
You don't seem happy.
Oh no, I'm absolutely thrilled. Who wouldn't love to have their friends taken hostage?
There's no need to worry. I'll let you out of here soon.
That tunnel. Is it part of whatever you're planning to?
What?
They find out.
Again, you don't need to worry. I've already spoken with the General. She's going to put the homunculus back underground and seal up the tunnel's opening. General Armstrong's on our side now, Full Metal.
Right. Definitely on your side,
Are we going to
right?
go?
And the Elrics are also playing as if they don't know what the hell's going on here. They're saying, you know, they've been locked up this entire time, and they're like, hey, we're And he's also like, they're also nervous that he's being sent there on behalf of the homunculi to put him in their place. And they're like, yo, we just came down up here to do a research. You said that was okay. And Raven's like, no, you good. And they're like,
yeah, clearly just, I understand. It's just research, nothing else.
I think Ed asked about the tunnel as well. And he's like, well, what's the deal about that? He's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And we're gonna take care of it from here.
Okay. Sorry to keep you waiting.
This
You
is
seem to be
stupid.
making rather frequent phone calls. You were seriously injured and near death, and then the same day you show up here totally recovered. What sort of magic can do that?
That information is none of your business.
Another thing,
You really
you
said
were
you
imprisoned
reject.
for killing officers. Why would they release you?
Great
Do I have to
question.
say it again?
There's also some side scenes. I just want to touch upon this here because there's like a C plot of Major Miles escorting Kimberly around. Kimberly just being
Kimberly.
Kimberly, and Major Miles obviously like does not like Kimberly at all because he calls him out. He's like, "What's the deal with like? Remember you were like close to death and now you're not." Like, and you're like, "Hey, also like."
Well, I was concerned because like he threatened him and then he got better, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh no, he's like, and like I don't trust, and like Kimberly, like he feels kind of like meticulous
Yes.
a little bit, and like can like restrain himself, but he also kind of feels like he can go like over the top. So
Yeah.
it's like because for a while my belief was just like, oh, he could just like go off and he'll just go off and kill somebody, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
but that doesn't seem like the case.
It's a really interesting evolution of Kimberly's character because I feel like so often we see a character go from like cold and calculating to just like losing their marbles, and I feel like that's like a very a natural progression for a character. And here we kind of see not the opposite from Kimberly, but kind of a subversion of that, where he starts off and all we know about him is that he is this ruthless killer and seems like an absolute psychopath. I mean, he is, but like really heavy on the outwardly psychopath. And then the more that we see him kind of in the current plot, we can actually see how calculating and reserved he can be.
Yeah.
And more manipulative on an emotional basis instead of doing the inverse where we kind of see that ramp up into like a huge killer.
Yeah.
So I think that's like a really interesting kind of subversion on that character path. So, but yeah, we can. It's very funny that it's not funny, but it's like there is tension because we know that Kimberly is very capable of killing. We know that there's a little bit of beef there.
In and search for the missing team?
Quiet, Henschel.
We can't just abandon them down there. They still may need our help.
I said be quiet.
Obey the one
Watched.
who holds the power.
Shut the fuck up.
They call her the impregnable northern wall of Briggs, but even
Because she cannot be
yields to
impregnated.
authority. Well,
But
that
all-
certainly is the wisest.
Unless she wants to, which I don't think she does.
Sure.
Nap time?
Well, good morning, Sloth. Did you have a good rest?
Who are you? I'm still sleepy.
You'd best wake up.
Relatable.
There's still a lot of work to be done here. Pride
I feel like
explained
Sloth
it
would
to
just be
you,
happy
now
to have like a
didn't
nice
he?
like giant bed with a lot of food and
I
TV.
guess.
Like most of us.
What a pain. Oh
I'm gonna go back and
well. No
dig.
choice. Too much of a pain to remember.
Why is he chained up again?
Not to worry. He's a chimera doing some work for the Central Forces.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's helping to make this country even greater than it already is.
I think
Of
we should
course,
make
it's
Master
still a
great
top
again.
secret operation. So close this hole and guard our secret. I'm counting on you, soldiers. It's people like you who make this country what it is.
Propaganda?
Yep. they bring Sloth back in. He's just like this giant dude. They like pull him back in,
And he's like, why did you wake me up?
he's
Or-
like, yeah, what's up?
It's not even just. It doesn't even sound like drunk, which like I just don't know how to really do his voice. It's very like Sloth talking.
Yeah. He
They're
talks like slow and like tired and just like.
Oh, I should work at the DMV.
He should work at the DMV. He'd be very good at that. And he is just kind of like, what am I doing? And Raven goes up to him and then refers to him as Sloth because I don't know if it's actually been said out loud.
It hasn't, but like
But like we know it's Sloth. And Raven says like, hey, Sloth, How's it going? You're gonna go back and do what you've been doing. And Sloth's like, I don't really want to, but like, fine, I'll do it. And
I'm just wondering why they made the guy who just does all the digging Sloth.
yeah, because you think he'd be kind of lazy. But I think it's one of those, but like, consider the following. Though.
Okay.
It's such like a, not trivial job, because it's obviously it plays an important role, but it's such like a monotonous and seemingly meaningless kind of job, or just like a lot of busy work, that anyone with any kind of motivation or ambition would be like, fuck that, I don't want to do that anymore. And so you get someone who's so tired that they cannot have any other thought than whatever is right in front of them to do all your dirty work.
Yeah, you're right.
So
okay.
And so Sloth jumps back in. He's like, all right, here we go. Woo! And then they proceed to fill up the hole with cement. So, and there has been some pushback specifically because they don't know if the first group they sent in, if they have they don't know if they've died. They just know that because there's many of them and only like a horse and an arm returned. So they don't know if like someone got lost, there was an attack, but like they're still good. So as far as they understand, they have not recovered any bodies from this event. So there could still be alive men who are going to be buried alive in this tunnel. And that's part of the pushback then. But Raven is like, nope, we're sealing it up, too dangerous, bye. And they go from there. So before we get to kind of see the back half of that whole thing, we do take a brief pause to go back to Dr. Marco and May to talk about, we're just kind of seeing the progress of them reading up on the notes.
Hello.
All the important parts are written in ancient Ishvalan.
Does that mean we give up?
No.
If Scar were here, he might be able to read it. He was an Ishvalan monk, so he might know their ancient writing.
That's true.
That is true.
Where is he? Could something bad have happened to him?
Probably.
And Marco's like, I can't read this. But Scar, who before he was a serial killer, was a monk.
I don't know if he's like technically like this. I know we say serial killer. I think like from my true crime knowledge, I think he's more of like just like a revenge killer.
Yeah,
because like usually like there's like a lot of times like serial killers like you just like there's not really like a full purpose behind it, and like like a lot of times there's like if you're a man specifically, it's more like a sexual reason for wanting to kill. And then for a woman, it's mostly like money. Mm-hmm. But like I think revenge is like a revenge killer.
Yeah.
He's not like torturing anybody or just like.
That's true. And he's not like collecting like trophies. Yeah. And so, but Scar does have history that he would be probably more likely than anyone that any of us know to be able to read this ancient language. They have to wait for him to get back so they can hopefully figure out the next part.
I hope he goes back soon.
I hope he goes back soon. And I hope we don't see any members of the mainstream military. Oh wait, we do. Bad things are happening to him.
The girl with the black and white cat.
Right. Let's go.
Hello?
What? Oh shit. Nice. Got him.
And Yoki's there. He exists.
He certainly does.
Mr. Yoki!
Hey, bring your voice down, lady.
Yeah, they're right here.
We need to relocate.
They're gonna die.
Soldiers know where we are.
Of exposure, yeah, absolutely. So we see, of course, two Briggs soldiers. They are kind of watching them from afar, so they have kind of binocular view of the safe house. And they're like, okay, cool. Oh, that's the person we're looking for, because, of course, Ed and Al have made it known to the folks at Briggs that they were looking for specifically this person. They gave, like, the picture of Xiao Mei. And so they're like, cool, that's the person we're looking for. Let's move in. And as they're moving in, they get stopped because Scar's back. Yay! And also Yoki, but, like, nobody cares about him. Yoki is here.
I'm surprised he's still hanging out with these people, to be honest.
Yoki's just gonna be the last one.
Although it's gonna, like when we find out what we find out the path we're going on for after the next episode.
Yeah.
Like when they get to the destination, that's gonna be hilarious.
That's gonna be so funny. That actually will be funny.
That part, I know most of it's gonna be sad, but that part's gonna be funny.
Anyway, so finally, all of Scar's group is reunited.
He also knocks up the soldiers, just like leaves them in the snow.
He also does take part of their uniforms.
So like they're gonna die.
Yeah, so I mean, they're gonna probably get exposed, probably a little bit of frostbite. Hopefully they wake up and can go home. Or they'll die. So we're gonna actually flash ahead. It says several days later. There was a so for background for everyone else, the version of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, I probably shouldn't mention the streaming service that we're watching it on. They don't have any on-text translations, so there's a lot of times where a Fullmetal Alchemist will have like subtitled notes, and they're just all in kanji. I could read 2 of the 3 kanji that were on the screen, so it's several days later. I read day later, and I thought it was a day later. Anyway, this is several days later. They are still working on plugging this hole up because concrete takes time to settle, obviously.
Those who aren't chosen, will they be sacrificed for those who are?
Yes, the survival of the fittest. The weak will become the foundation of the country,
it back
and
up
the strong will take their
after
rightful
everybody
place on top.
Is that what happened in Ishval?
Indeed, they were part of the plan. They were weak and deserved to perish for the good of their betters.
Hey, quick. First of all, fuck you.
Yeah.
Is that right?
From what I hear, when the country was first founded, and now my generation shall preside over its completion. I'm grateful for your assistance. You're a true servant to your country.
Hooray!
I
hope she gets to cut
my
his arm off.
superiors about preparing.
Oh, God. It's,
I hope she gets snapped in the
What's
neck.
that?
Nice!
Which arm did Smith lose in the tunnel? The left or right?
Wait!
Before you became so afraid of your own mortality, I'm sure long ago you had an earnest love for your country.
You can't! You were going to be one of the chosen ones! You would have been one of us!
I don't need a new seat from
Okay,
you.
now take that sword
You're
and
going
go
to lose the
backwards
one
so
your
then I'll
moldy
cut a
ass
vein
has clung
and
to
then
for too
die.
long.
True.
Right about
Bleed to
now,
death.
Raven! You
Oh.
old traitor!
Yeah, nice!
Was right before our eyes!
Well, now you're dead. I'm
You are
assuming.
among the weak who will become the foundation for this country, literally.
Kimberly's there, though. We have
I
issues
was going to be immortal.
with What?
Now that that's done, get in touch
Get
with
wrecked,
Major
Raven.
Miles.
Sir.
The rest of you, we have work to do.
General.
I guess this happens a lot because he
I want
had those
that concrete
readily available.
Nice and level.
But Kimberly's still in proximity.
So Raven starts kind of talking to Armstrong, and Raven's again giving her everything. Like, she's asking questions. She's like, "Well, what about this? What about this?" And he's kind of revealing details, slowly and surely, kind of about their plan and how long it's been. You know, this plan has been in motion since like really the founding of the country, and he's going to be in the generation that reaps the benefits of it. So he's excited about that. Really, kind of revealing slowly more of the scope of this and how like the Ishvalan Civil War, for instance, was like part of this. So he's kind of confirming all these things. He's confirming a lot of stuff for Armstrong, and that one she already knows because of the things that were discussed, but really like just, I guess, probably confirming for her that like, oh yeah, okay. Understanding like what's really going on here, which is probably confirming a lot of things that the Elrics told her as well.
And Raven's like so excited about like being able to live forever and being immortal.
Yeah. And he's the worst. So, you know, while
sadly
he's
nothing
doing
bad
that,
happens to him.
yeah. So, and while he's talking to her again, he's kind of like doing, like imposing that kind of like physical stance on her and just like has like an arm on her shoulder and just like, you know, just like, hey, how's it going? And Armstrong has, once she gets the information that she needs, she's like, oh, cool.
Thank you.
We're done with this. So she thinks, and then stabs him right through the hand.
Arm.
Right through the arm, like right there.
Remember I think like,
Yeah.
that was fun.
Yeah, and so, and Raven is totally just so surprised by this because he's like, no, I thought you were going to be like one of us. I thought you were cool like that. And she's like, I'm not cool
I
like
thought we
that.
could bang.
I thought what we had was special. And she's like, absolutely not. And so, you know, he's like, what are you doing? And then she goes in for the kill. So she takes this sword out of arm, and then kind of slashes him up and then kicks him into the vat of wet cement.
Cementia.
And then, of course, the wet cement then kind of comes to cover him. And so we get to see Raven's dreams of immortality dashed as he is taken from us too late, honestly. Not too soon, too late. Like, fuck that guy.
Have fun in hell.
And so that's kind of...
So he's dead.
Yeah, so he's gone. F him.
My only thing, I don't know if this was like the right. I love the scene.
Yeah.
Great, glad he's dead. Not sure if this is a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's like, because like Kimberly's still there.
Yeah.
And like people are still there that will like. I mean, like, luckily, like, I think the only witnesses were, like, her team.
Yes.
Which is good.
Which is good. Yeah. And, but this has been part of the plan the entire time. And so this information then kind of spreads throughout Briggs, and then it makes it to Miles.
Is it because I was a state alchemist, one of
So
the
I'm
ones who
concerned
served in the
a little bit.
Ishvalan War of Extermination? Do you want to know about the war, about how your countrymen died in it?
Shut your mouth, Kimberly.
What, you don't want me to tell you?
I said to shut up!
She says operation complete. No need to buy more time.
Roger that. I'm just glad I'm not stuck talking to that guy anymore. I don't know how much longer I could have lasted.
Yeah.
This is a fort, but that doesn't mean it's safe enough for an outsider to be wandering
I
around.
sure hope it's not
If
6
anything
feet under
happens to the
concrete or
general,
anything.
I, for one, would welcome it. If anything bad should happen to General Raven, then I have permission to act in whatever way that I see fit.
Which
that
usually ends in
decision
murder.
came down from the Fuhrer himself.
Yo, this step of the plan is complete. You don't have to distract this guy anymore. And I was like, thank fucking God. I was
What
about
they
to
did
kill
was,
this
like,
guy.
also, like, kill Kimberly as well, and then they...
that is not part of the plan. So they actually...
Because they know that, like, they can get rid of General Raven, and it's not, like, that going to be that big of a... Or, like, it's a big deal, but, like, they could probably, like, get away with it, whereas, like, if they kill Kimberly, that's going to be a bigger issue.
Well, I think there's probably a couple things at play. One, I'm not even sure that... Well... No, they probably knew that they were gonna kill Raven, but one, I don't think they know what role that Kimberly is playing in the grand scheme of things, and two, I mean, he's also a state alchemist, so they don't know that he has a Philosopher's Stone, but they still know that he is a pretty powerful dude, and he's probably a lot tougher to take in a fight. Not that they can't, but he's just tougher. And I think they already have kind of other plans for other things. So, but like their main plan was just keeping them separate enough that they could kind of do what they need to with General Raven, and then go from there. But yeah, because Miles is probably ready to kill Kimberly because of all the dumb shit Kimberly was saying. But then Kimberly kind of reveals that he's like, oh, actually, well, the order, they're like, hey, sorry, we can't find Raven. We don't know what happened, but like, we don't know where he is. Isn't that weird? Isn't that funny? And Kimberly's like, oh, well, that's bummer. But the orders that I have are directly from the Fuhrer. So basically anything that I say is the will of the Fuhrer, pretty much. And so I can do whatever I want. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Cool.
Fullmetal saw this coming, so he made us this secret passage into the tunnel.
Nice.
Hooray! Is there still a monster down there?
He killed him?
General Raven?
He did.
Yep, and that was all I was ordered to tell you.
Bye!
Hey, wait a minute. When are you guys gonna let us
Fuck
out of this
Raven.
damn place?
Listen,
Who
Kimberly's
knows?
still there, so
Take it
maybe
up with
we
the
had just,
general.
like, let these things in there for a little bit.
What?
So the person who's kind of been like going to Armstrong being like, we shouldn't seal up this tunnel, his name is Henschel. And he goes to Armstrong and is like, hey, we still need to search for this team. And then it's revealed that while they were plugging up the hole, Ed had actually gone in and used alchemy to build, to make kind of a secret separate door to the tunnel. Hooray! So now they
Secret
can
tunnel!
Now they can go look for the guys that are lost.
We should just rest for now.
I can't just sit around while all this
You
is
need
going
to
on.
rest and you're helping
need
your
to do
brother's body
something.
stay alive. This is fine.
Hi. You should be grateful. I brought a visitor with me to see you.
Hello?
Visitor?
Oh no!
And that's a threat. That's a threat.
Why did you come here?
Great question!
Why?
Where the hell was she?
You have to adjust your automail for the north, don't you? I was worried about you, idiot! Someone from the military contacted me, so I came.
Military? Don't be so hard on her, you two.
Kimberly,
The
get away
Fuhrer
from
was
her!
concerned about you. He
Get
wanted to
your
make sure you were
goddamn
taken
hands off
care
her.
of.
This is fine. This is
It's
fine.
not
Everything's
though!
good. Everything,
It's
this is
not! This is terrible!
This is fine.
There was one good thing! And that was it!
Now we get kind of the
gut punch?
The gut punch. Yeah, so Kimberly, again, he is more calculating than we give him credit for, because it's not, he didn't just come up with General Raven. Actually, there's a bunch of people that came up. One of them is somebody that we know. Somebody that we're a little bit familiar with. Somebody who absolutely should not be here under any circumstances.
Hey, what's that over there? Is that a hostage?
Is that a hostage? Is that Is that when we rock, Bell?
No!
It is. She's here.
That's not good.
That's not good. That's not good. Unfortunately, these guys know how to play the game. And it's bad, actually. So,
and unfortunately, Winry, being the innocent soul that she is, who does not know anything, is like pissed at them, pissed at their brothers, and being like, "You didn't call me. You're coming up to the north. I need to fix your automail."
Right. She's like, "Oh, you're in a new climate. You need your automail maintenance, and you need do this, do that, do everything." So for her, it's totally reasonable because she's like, "Oh, I'm the automail mechanic, and they need Ed needs updated automail." Totally makes sense. So she is.
So nobody's watching me or anything.
Yeah. So, but that's kind of where we leave that.
Yeah, and Ellie's kind of like, fuck.
They're like, god damn it. So, it's fine. And then we have a post-credit scene. All right, let's go. End credit scene.
I'm upset.
Probably. Yeah.
Kimberly.
Yes, I heard about it from a friend of mine
Remember?
who's working as a nurse at the base of the mountain. She said he was admitted with serious injuries, but after General Raven came to visit, he recovered right away.
Tell me if you hear anything else.
It was really nice seeing you.
You playboy motherfucker.
Nice. That's not much to go on. A bouquet of flowers might help you next time.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm better off without her. But thanks anyway.
When one woman leaves you, another may find you. I have a message for you from Olivier Mira Armstrong. Colonel Roy Mustang, right?
I'll take every flower you have in that cart.
We're going to go back to Roy Mustang. I feel like it's been a minute since we've seen him. Hey, how's it going, Roy? And he is kind of talking to one of his contacts. And it's important because Roy is out of military uniform, so he's kind of, this is his side gig. And, wow. I choked on my spit. So one of his side gigs, and I feel like Roy puts up a front, and this is shown in multiple ways.
It's kind of like a Bruce Wayne Batman Begins front of you have act like decent person Bruce Wayne, and then you have Playboy Bruce Wayne, so it's kind of like that.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people assume that Roy is just hotshot young guy who just plays toys with women kind of thing. So a lot of Roy's informants are young women, beautiful women, and so a lot of the ways that information is exchanged is right, through them, and so under the guise of his different girlfriends or his different dates. So the one, his current contact kind of leaves, and then someone from this person selling flowers kind of comes up and is like, dang, you should have bought her flowers. And he's like, nah, it's good. And then she's like, well, I have some message from Olivier Mira Armstrong. And then that's kind of where we leave that. So we know there's very fun ways that people get information out and very fun sideways.
I do like that in shows.
Yeah, it's very good. So that's that episode, Dare. What do you think?
It's weird.
Oh, why is it weird?
Well, because it's called Family Portrait, and really the only Family Portrait part is just it's bit with it's a little more bit with Hohenheim, but then it has nothing to do with the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind, because I liked the bits of the episode. Obviously, Raven getting murdered and cemented was hilarious. Did we ever figure out what cemented means, or was this made up word? I think
it was a made up word.
Yeah. I remember that was a whole thing. I'm just what does this mean?
Yeah. No, it was made up. Let's see.
But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. I like that part, but I guess it kind of feels a little, it wasn't that much. It was there was fun parts, but then it also kind of just felt like it was a move along episode.
Yeah. I mean, no, a lot happened. I mean, the whole scene with Armstrong Raven, fantastic.
That was great.
No.
And again, I like the whole cold opening.
Yeah.
A lot, because it was it gave more emotion to Hohenheim and actually made made Hohenheim and Trisha way too adorable for life's sake.
Yeah, now we're sad about it, because before we were just and now we're like, aw, how dare you tell me that?
Well, I always had a vibe that he did really love her, or and had felt something deep for her, and that Trisha didn't actually know everything about him, and this kind of confirms it, which I like. Because they actually, it kind of felt that they were they do kind of feel partners in a way of just he I don't know what exactly Hohenheim does for the partnership, but she's definitely emotional support.
Yeah.
or like for healing. I don't know if he's like has a job and is like providing money. I don't know.
I mean, he's like they signed just an alchemist, so he's is he an alchemist? Yeah, he's an alchemist. I was like, is he practicing alchemy? But no, like
I don't know
Trisha literally says that.
I don't know what he brings to the relationship, but maybe it's like a thing of just like
abs.
Okay.
No, that's fair.
I don't know like if he gives like her support for anything, but it kind of feels like he's like a good person for her.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
She loves him clearly,
Yeah.
So like something's there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just like a I can fix him thing.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit, but like not a lot.
A little bit, but anyway, want some trivia?
Yeah.
All right. This episode is adapted from chapters 67, 68, and 69 of the manga. And it's in this episode that it's revealed that Hohenheim's face from the only enigmatic Elric's family picture, the same photograph has shown up in the franchise recurrently, even in the 2003 adaptation. But until this episode, the reason for the lack of character's face was unknown. So it was just always more, I think before it just seemed like it's obscured because we're obscured to who Hohenheim is as a person. Now we understand that like what was behind it the whole time was a facet to his character that, you know, we can better understand now. So, all right, that was fun. A lot of points in this episode, but I'm excited to talk about the next episode. So let's take a break.
Yeah.
And we come back, we'll talk about episode 37, The First Homunculus. Stay tuned.
I love how you didn't ask me if I had any more thoughts on that episode.
No more thoughts.
Nobody cares.
No, I care. Just, I wish we want to talk about the next episode.
I agree. I'm sorry, no theme song?
Nope.
Excuse me? Oh.
There we go. There's the intro.
That was just a fucking intro.
I haven't ever been able to do much for the boys, but I can at least do this.
Oh.
That
something like after something.
We are
the day after.
And
The
we
day
will
after.
receive
Okay.
immortal in your godly
After
bodies.
You old gross man.
Issue though.
Immortality!
Yes.
Ah!
I love the show. All right. Oh my god. All right.
So nothing happened, right?
Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Nobody died? No pawn was brought to us?
Nope. It's all fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Winry's gonna be fine. It's all good.
I assume she's gonna be fine
She will be
by
fine.
the end.
Yeah.
I don't know about now.